and welcome to my kitchen. And it is Saturday night, and I cooked a ham for dinner tonight because when I was in my freezer rearranging it, I realized there was a ham down on the bottom of it, and it is 4 years old, and I had to use it. So I thawed it out overnight, and I roasted it tonight, and we had that for dinner.
And it was delicious.
Thank you, honey. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and make some I'm going to can some split pea soup in the pressure canner. And in order to do that, I wanted to make a ham stock. So I threw the ham bone and I trimmed all the good meat off of it. And I'll show you what that looks like. This is all the ham that came off of that. It's a lot of ham. It'll make some nice soup. You don't need to put a lot of ham in a pea soup anyway, so it's just for flavor. But I got that big old ham bone in there, and I didn't trim it like totally. I don't, you get down to that sinewy stuff that's close to the bone, and it is not yummy anyhow. So I have about a half a dozen cloves of garlic that I simply cut in half. I have an entire bunch of celery that needs to be used that was in my produce drawer, including the core, the stem end, because I just cut that in 4 pieces. When you're making the stock, everything lends flavor, okay? I have 3 onions here, and I'm just going to quarter them. I'm not going to peel them. I'm not going to cut the ends off of them or anything. I'm just going to put them in the pot. This is how you get a really good color to your stock. The onion skins and all the vegetables that you're going to put in here, they all add flavor and they add beautiful color. When you get a chicken stock in the store, for instance, chicken broth rather, it's almost clear.
You have to make it pretty.
Yeah, well, or sanitary looking, I don't know.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I'm just going to do that.
Because the American public has a stigmata that
I guess that's true. I don't know.
it has to look perfect.
But I am out of fresh carrots right now, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put in 2 handfuls of my dehydrated carrots, and these are Honeyville dehydrated carrots. And they're not freeze-dried, they're dehydrated. And they're just going to do perfect, okay? The only other thing I'm going to add before I put the water in here is some seasonings. Marjoram. Marjoram and peas are best friends.
So peas and carrots.
Well, peas and carrots. Ironically, peas are 2 timing carrots because peas also love marjoram. I'm also going to put some celery seed because I like the way that tastes. And this is all going to strain it. We're going to strain this stock. I put about a tablespoon because celery seed is a little strong. And then I'm going to go hog wild with the parsley. And this is a good way to use up your dry spices. Because, they do have a bit of a shelf life. But if you keep them really cool and in a dark place, they're going to last a very, very long time for you. So I'm going to fill this up with water. I'm going to put it on to simmer, and I'm going to let it simmer for at least a couple hours before I go to bed. I'll bring you back when it's time to just cover it up and let it rest. And I'm going to let you know ahead of time that I'm going to let it cool on the back of my stove with the lid on it. And for all of you people out there who think that it's bad and unsanitary and a bacteria breeding ground for me to leave my stock in the pot overnight, when you make your stock, you can do whatever you like. But when I make my stock, I leave it on the stove overnight and I let it cool. Never once in all the years that I've been cooking, or in all the years that my grandmothers cooked, did anyone ever get sick and die from doing that.
Or even sick.
Or sick, exactly. I have to tell you, I think that we take things a little too far sometimes. Common sense goes out the window, and we use safety is the excuse for everything. And yes, I'm on a little bit of a rant, and I'm sorry, but sometimes I get so tired of having people tell me when they, like for instance, when they see me in my video where I've canned the spaghetti sauce or the chili, and I say that we made this giant 21-quart pot of chili, and we leave it on the back of the stove covered overnight, and the next morning I jar it up and pressure can it. Telling me that bacteria is going to grow, and well, you know what? I have a degree in hotel restaurant management, with a minor in business administration, and I'm a pretty smart gal, and I know all of those things. I have certification through the health department in 2 states, and I know all of those things. So, this is not a restaurant, this is my home, and we do things this way here. So when you do your thing in your kitchen, you can do them your way. You don't have to do them my way. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so we're gonna fill this up just a little bit more. I'm not gonna add any salt because the ham is already salty, and adding salt at this point is just gonna be detrimental to the stock. I'm also not gonna add any pepper. I'm gonna wait and add salt when we can it, and then I'm not gonna add any pepper at all until I serve it. I like lots of pepper in my split pea soup, but that's a personal preference. When you add pepper into a pressure pan item, that pepper is going to intensify so much it's almost going to be unbearable. So, of course, that's your personal choice. If you like to add some pepper, go right ahead. You could add some peppercorns even, and those would strain out. In fact, I may go ahead and do that. Let's see. I'll just put a few peppercorns in here, because those will strain out. If I put in cracked pepper, I'm just going to put a few. Just like 8 or 10. That's it, not that many. You can also throw an allspice berry in here and let it cook. And it's going to add a little extra depth of flavor to the stock. It'll be a little interesting. Something like, I don't know, it adds an interesting note of spice to it. Almost a warming. It, well, almost would make you go, but it isn't nutmeg. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to lift it. Oh, strong like bull. Alright. I'm going to put this over medium heat. I'm going to let it come to a simmer. And then I'm going to let it simmer for a couple of hours, until I feel that the vegetables are translucent and have slumped, all the carrots are rehydrated, the ham is kind of coming off of that bone, and I can see it floating in the broth, and we're just going to cook this stock. And that's pretty much how you make ham stock. I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's completely finished. Well, before we go to bed, I'll show you what it looks like.
You had enough to eat already.
Tally, you had some. And you're not supposed to have ham. And it gave us some. Huh. Tally, say bye. See ya. Hey everybody, I am back. It is Sunday morning. I did not show this before I went to bed last night because I was really tired, and I will let you know that this stock simmered for 4 hours, and it is really, really delicious. And Rick can vouch for that because I gave him a taste. Well, all the vegetables have slumped. All those carrots that I put in there, they rehydrated. All the celery is mushy now. The onions have fallen apart. That big beef bone that I put in there, that beef joint. Ham joint. Did I say, good Lord, it is early, isn't it? That ham joint that I put in there, look it. There's still a good number of nice pieces of meat in there that have fallen off that bone. But this bone has served its purpose. It has done its job. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it. And I'm going to bring it over here, so I'm going to have to move. Now, I have to do this I have a 6-quart pot down here, and the reason I have that is because this strainer, it won't fit in the top of this pot. So, we're going to have to do this in bits and pieces. So, I don't know if I'm brave enough to pour, but let's see. And I have this lined with cheesecloth, and that is only because I really want a clear stock. I don't want all the herbs in there, and I want to drain out as much as possible. And this is a very fine mesh sieve. You can see. And I have had people ask me where I got these. I got these at JCPenney. I got them through their online, and I have had these for several years. So if you go to JCPenney and look, I got them. They came in a set of 3. And I think I paid $20 for this set of 3. But see, now I don't want all that yuck in my... And I can probably do another pour safely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to strain this, and when I come back I'm going to show you what the strained stock looks like. Okay, we're done straining our stock, and aside from a little bit of parsley in there, which I don't care. This stock is completely strained, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Look at that. It's beautiful and it's delicious, and this is going to make a lovely split pea soup. And then I'm going to make a separate video of how I do that. So now that we've got our morning kicked off, our stock is strained, now we can move on to the important things, like feeding the dogs their breakfast, because Tally knows that it's time, and she's getting quite irritated with us for not doing that first. Tally.
She's looking.
What time is it, Tally? What time is it, Tally? Tally, what time is it? What time is it? It's breakfast time, Mama. Okay, so that is how you make ham stock with a ham bone or a ham joint. Oh, and this is all the extra meat that came off that ham bone after it's stewed in that stock. Now, I'm very picky about the meat that comes off a ham bone because sometimes it's nasty and gritty, and because the stuff close to the bone tends to be a little bit interesting. But I am going to pick through this and get rid of all the cartilage and the sinew and everything. It's cooked in there so long that all that collagen has cooked into the broth, and it's delicious. It's nice. I'm gonna shred this and I'm gonna add it to my soup meat. So there you have it. Not quick, but easy ham stock. And this is how you would make any kind of stock, really. Beef stock is a little bit different. I do like to roast my beef bones when I make a beef stock. And when I make beef stock, I will show you how to do that too. So, ham stock, very easy. I hope you try it. I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see you.